discussing a very serious issue. Although it was discussed on several occasions in the past, and successive governments from time to time took some measures to address the crisis, but still we are confronted with the crisis in a manner that some more efforts are required from the government to address the problem. That I will not take much of your time. There is a widespread perception that unbearable burden of debt and increased competition from imports are symptomatic of a crisis in Indian agriculture. Both these phenomena are real. Inability to bear debt has led to farmer suicide on an unprecedented scale. I will come and refer to the suicide figures later on. Import liberalization has had a strong dampening effect on the prices of several crops, especially plantation crops. This has caused considerable distress in regions where they are prominent in the farm economy. Third, there are two reasons to be concerned that Indian agriculture may indeed be facing a wider, deeper crisis. Number one, the long-term growth trend in production and productivity of agriculture, considerably less than required to sustain the projected high overall growth rates in the country in the coming decade, may actually be slowing down. And number two, the growing economic and social disparities between agriculture and the rest of the economy and between rural and urban sectors. We have forgotten that about 70% of our population, they live in rural areas. Many years back, Gandhiji said that India live in villages. This is still a reality today, that about 833 million people, that is 70% of the total population, live in villages. Said according to some reports, I am quoting some important reports, Lancet study made by researchers from London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and other studies made by Cambridge University's Department of Sociology and University College London's Department of Political Science. Huge variation in suicide rates between Indian states can largely be accounted for by suicides among farmers and agricultural laborers. This is the report of the studies made by different universities across the world. So these studies also say that, and I quote one line, farmers at highest risk have three characteristics. One, those that grow cash crops such as cotton, coffee, and jute. Two, those with marginal farmers of less than 1 hectare of land. And number three, those with debts of more than rupees 500. These are the three areas that they have identified which are the cause for the rampant suicide by the farmers. That the study also say that a large proportion of these rural inhabitants have not benefited from the economic growth of the past 20 years. The drums that we are beating of economic growth, no benefit from that so-called economic growth has gone to the kitty of the farmers or the rural people of India. And this is a hard reality. Sir, in fact, liberalization has brought about a crisis in the agricultural sector that has purchased many small-scale cash crop farmers into debt and in some cases to suicide. We are aware of the notorious Monsanto company which has created havoc in the Vidarbha region of Maharashtra, the BT cotton, the GM crop, and pesticides. And there is a film, I am talking about a documentary film, not a feature film, directed by a world-famous documentary film director, Mika X. Pellet, American director. And this film has got more than 100 international awards in different film festivals. I can arrange a special show for the honorable members of this August House. The day I saw it, I could not withstand the shock and trauma which had been inflicted upon the cotton farmers of Maharashtra. This is not only shocking, this is inhuman. And according to the New York University School of Law report, the banner headline was, I quote the headline only, which implies everything, to make everybody understood what is Monsanto. They say, and I quote, either mankind will stop Monsanto or Monsanto will stop mankind. This is the situation. Either mankind will stop Monsanto or Monsanto will stop mankind. This is a horrible situation. And because of the brothers and sisters of Swadeshi Jagaran Manch, I am indebted to them. They have raised a protest, and the government has presently reportedly deviated from introducing this GM test trial. So far my knowledge goes. If the government is still stick to that decision, that should be opposed tooth and nail by all the patriots and all nationalists. Thank you, sir. Now my next point, sir. Now if we look at the suicide by farmers due to agrarian distress in 2014, the state of Maharashtra is heading the list. I am having a list with me. Maharashtra, up to April this year, only this year, January to April, there are 204 cases of farmer suicide in Maharashtra alone. What about May, June, July, August, September, October? No figure has yet been released by the government for reasons better known to the government. But in only 4 months, 204. What was last year? During 12 months of last year, it was 407. And in the 4 months of this year, it is 204. Next, Telangana, 69 up to October. Karnataka, 19 up to mid-November. Gujarat, only 3. Kerala, only 3. Andhra, only 3 up to June or October. So these are the comparative figures. I am not going to 2011 and 12. Past is past. But sir, this is an alarming situation, and government must address this problem in a befitting manner. So now, the question is that I am also coming from a agricultural producing state, that is West Bengal. What is the situation in West Bengal? We are trying to help the farmers in a manner so that they can earn their livelihood. At least they can maintain their animal existence. The bare animal existence is very important. We are trying our level best to provide some input. Cumulative figures for farmers' household income in my state is 39.64% increase in the year 2011 to 2013. In the year 2011, my government came to power led by Ms. Mamata Banerjee. Within 2 years, there is an increase of 39.64% income in the farmer's household. And so far, the cumulative figures of quantity of food grain produce is concerned, now there is an increase by 8.54%. The cumulative figures for quantity of amount of state expenditure out of state budget, we have increased 59.52% in the budget for the agriculture. Production of cereal has increased from 148 lakh tons in 2010-11 to 173 lakh tons in 2013-14. This way, we are trying. The other areas where we are also helping the farmers, the distribution of farm equipment, storage facilities, agro-education, seed banks, state seed laboratories, crop insurance. The crop insurance for 15 horticultural crops have also been brought under the purview of crop insurance. Support to marginal farmers. About 50,000 marginal farmers have been given ₹5,000 each for purchasing small implements as per their choice. And we have also introduced pension for farmers. About 66,700 farmers have been brought under Farmers Old Age Pension Network. Brihat Krishak Bazar. We have also set up Brihat Krishak Bazar in different parts of the state. In this way, we are trying to help the farming community of our state. And I would appeal to the government of India, personally to the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, that serious efforts should be made by the government of India so that, first of all, the farmer suicide is combated without further loss of time, and certain comprehensive measures are required to be evolved by the government of India so that we need not discuss this agrarian crisis time and again. Thank you, sir.